organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
In this edition of Daily Iowan TV,
Rise and fall. Find out how Iowa farmers are responding to the drop in Iowa's cash crop.
and find out why the number of students studying abroad has increased over the years.
And in sports, Fran McCaffrey's Hawks have made it in the polls.
All that and more next.
Daily Iowan TV is ready to go.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for being with us this Monday evening for Daily Iowan TV. I'm Christina Targos.
And I'm Brad Maxwell.
We start off tonight's show with the second reported sexual assault that has occurred in November and the fourth of the semester on campus. On November 9th, the University of Iowa Housing and Dining received a report that a student was sexually assaulted at an off-campus fraternity house. At this time, the reporting party has decided not to report the incident to law enforcement. With these instances occurring, the university wants you to understand your rights. If you have been sexually assaulted, you can visit police.uiowa.edu to help you understand the options you can take, or you can call 319-335-6000 for a confidential victim advocate line. The Daily Iowan will give you updates as they come.
Corn prices are leaving Iowa farmers with mixed emotions. The price of yellow corn has dropped to its lowest in 3 years at around $4.20 per bushel. Earlier, I visited one Iowa farm to discover the impact of Iowa's cash crop and find out if these prices are here to stay.
For Steve Swenka, farming isn't just a job, it's a way of life.
I've lived on this place since '96 with my wife and 2 sons.
A life fueled by cattle and crops, and corn is no exception.
We feed about half the corn crop here on our farm to the cattle, but we also have some for sale every year, so naturally we like to see the prices up there.
Those hopes are falling a little short this year, as the price of corn has fallen to a statewide average of $4.20 per bushel. This is nearly half the $8 state average in Iowa last August. But Swenka believes it's more of a price correction than drop.
Last year's prices were, kind of inflated a bit because of the drought we had. The supplies were just so tight that what we're seeing right now is actually closer to normal.
With this year's better yield, the price of corn has fell dramatically. But this drop in prices doesn't have all farmers down in the dirt. That's because farmers like Swenka sell and produce corn to feed their livestock. But not all farmers have that option.
Producers that would need to go out and buy corn for their livestock, naturally they appreciate the price it's at versus where it was a year ago.
So while last year's corn producers cashed in,
it's not hard to spend the money, so when you get a little extra for your crops, you really appreciate it.
The lower prices are giving livestock farmers a break and keeping another hungry herd fully fed. Brad Maxwell, Daily Iowan TV.
Farmers say this year's wet spring and mild summer led to a record corn harvest and significantly increased the supply.
The number of students studying abroad has increased over the years, both nationally and locally. Some University of Iowa officials say the number has increased due to a more interconnected world. In this day and age, it is becoming easier to travel abroad. According to the UI International Students Fall 2013 enrollment statistics, the number of international students attending the university has almost quadrupled from 1,792 in 2000 to 4,049 students this fall. Downing Thomas, an associate provost and dean of international programs, said the UI has worked to increase available connections by drawing more students to the state of Iowa. Having a global population in Iowa City provides us with an ability to give global exposure to the students, he said. Having this exposure creates opportunities to make connections with people from other countries.
Registration for next semester opened up Monday morning. A select handful of students have the option to waitlist courses if they fill up before their registration time. This is a part of the new pilot project this year that will email students alerts when their waitlisted courses are opened up. If things go well, the university will roll out the program for all students for summer and fall 2014 registration. Much more still coming your way on Daily Iowan TV.
Find out what mobile game is topping the charts.
And Election Day Part 2 arrives tomorrow for some Iowans. More in Political Alert.
And in sports, we have a packed whip around for you.
But first, we'll hand it off to Daily Iowan TV's Marissa Mahalik for your weather forecast. And Marissa, what can we expect to see this week?
Thanks, Brad. It looks like we will be seeing your typical winter weather this week. Tomorrow morning, we will start off the day at 32 degrees. By the time afternoon rolls around, it will be 48 degrees and sunny. Tomorrow evening, we'll drop down to 44 degrees. And looking ahead to the rest of the week, Wednesday we can expect to see showers with temperatures in the 40s. Thursday will be 46 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Friday should be cloudy at 37 degrees. And this weekend, we should see sunny skies in the 20s just in time for the home game. Brad and Christina, that's all I have tonight for weather. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk after this quick message.
Iowa SJMC.
Want a major that'll take you somewhere?
I joined, and now I make videos for the university. I joined, and now I work for the most trusted news source in America. SJMC.
A University of Iowa student was charged with a Class D felony after breaking windows in Quadrangle Hall last weekend. The 18-year-old was allegedly under the influence of synthetic drugs and stripped naked before police were able to restrain him. He was immediately transported to the hospital. Police estimate the student caused roughly $1,500 worth of damage.
Today marks the one-year anniversary of the popular game Candy Crush Saga. The game's success has been crazy so far and hit a record 500 million downloads. The popular game has been played on Facebook, Android, and iPhones. Currently, 1 in every 23 Facebook users play this game, and the popularity seems to keep on growing. For one UI student, the game is addicting for a lot of reasons.
It's just perfect for when you're bored. It's like a challenge, it's strategy. It's not just a mind-numbing game, so you actually get into it. You kind of get mad if you can't solve it. And then once you beat it, you want to go on to the next one to see what that is, and then that's a new challenge that you want to beat. So it's like something that always keeps you going, and you have to wait for lives, so it just keeps you constantly addicted to it.
I don't know what it is about this game, but I've never played it. I must be missing something.
I mean, I played it, but I deleted it because I realized how addicting it is. So I kind of see, yeah, it's really addicting.
We're now going to send it over to Reed Chandler in the studio for tonight's edition of the Political Alert. Reed?
Welcome back to Political Alert. Now, when the presidential election season comes around every 4 years, there's no doubt Iowa is a state full of political propaganda. But with a special election in Des Moines taking place tomorrow, Iowans aren't really getting a break. Now, this year's election cycle wasn't so exciting. No big issues to vote on in 2013. But midterm elections, 4 state legislators in Congress are ahead for next year in 2014. And Republicans and Democrats are already strategizing how to gain majority power on all levels. In Iowa specifically, Republicans are hoping to recapture a majority in the state Senate next year. But before they can do that, they need to keep a seat that's currently up for grabs. Voters in Des Moines, on Tuesday will decide who represents them in Senate District 13 in South Des Moines. On the ballot are Republican Representative Julianne Garrett and former Democratic lawmaker Mark David. Why is the Senate seat open so early? Well, the seat was vacated by former Republican Senator Kent Sorensen from Milo, Iowa. He resigned after an independent investigator revealed he allegedly broke ethics rules by receiving funds from presidential candidate Michelle Bachmann's Political Action Committee and her presidential campaign. Whomever emerges the winner after tomorrow's special election, it won't affect who currently controls the Senate. Right now, Democrats hold 26 seats, while Republicans hold 50. But if David wins tomorrow, that's one baby step closer for the Democrats in shifting the power to their advantage in next year's midterm election. That's your weekly Political Alert. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Reed. There's a lot of news in the world of black and gold, so let's toss it over to Alyssa Bergamini in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. Alyssa?
Happy Monday, guys, and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. There's a lot going on despite Kirk Ferentz's crew being idle this past weekend, so let's get right to it. Fran McCaffery's Hawkeyes are ranked nationally for the first time since 2005-2006. The men's basketball team are 25th in the country, according to the USA Today Coaches Poll. The Hawkeyes are also knocking on the doorstep of the AP poll, receiving 122 votes, which would put them unofficially at number 26. The Hawkeyes blew out Abilene Christian University 103-41. That is tied for the 4th largest margin of victory in school history.
We've got 16 minutes to go, and I'm going to get some of my guys out. I'm going to put the next group in. Well, they've got to get something out of it, so they got to keep playing hard. You know, we're not going to press. You know, I told them don't throw any alley-oops, although Sapp threw one. He couldn't resist because he saw it and threw it. But, you know, it's kind of like, let's just keep playing hard man-to-man defense. Keep running the fast break. Keep moving the ball.
Devin Marble tallied 27 points, with 22 of those points coming in the first half, matching the Wildcats all by himself.
I'm just being more aggressive, looking for my shot more, just being more assertive. But at the same time, still trying to make the right plays. I'm still a pretty good playmaker off the ball and finding open guys. So just balancing all that out and getting into a rhythm. I think I did that well today.
Freshman Peter Jock got things going in the second half, pouring in 15 points in the game, and spoke about what helped him break out.
Yeah, I mean, my confidence has always been there. It's just about my feet. I talked to my guardian, told me that I just got to work on my feet. I don't square my feet when I shoot. So that's what I've been working on all week, and I think that's what helped me a lot today.
Wrestling season is underway after the Hawks dominated in the Lutheran Open this past weekend. We have coverage of that and more in this week's Whip Around. Guys, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to Monday evening's edition of the Whip Around. I'm Danny Payne here outside Carver Hawkeye Arena. This weekend, the number 2 ranked Iowa wrestling team headed to Decorah for the Luther Open. Now, as we touched on briefly in yesterday's show, Iowa dominated the competition, sweeping all 10 weight classes in the elite division and picking up two more championships in the freshman division. Going a little bit more into depth, the best matchup in the afternoon was between redshirt freshman 125-pounders Corey Clark and Thomas Gilman. Now, the two were fairly equal after the first period. In the second, Clark rolled Gilman like a pony, and in the third, Clark scored a takedown and got an escape to get 3 points and then picked up the extra one for riding time for a final of 4-0. Now for more on Iowa soccer, let's send it over to Jalen Socek, who's standing by. Jalen?
Thanks, Danny. The Iowa soccer team had what was probably their most disappointing loss of the season. Iowa fell to Notre Dame 4-1 Friday night in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. 4 goals is the most the Hawks have had scored on them all season. Iowa jumped out early on Notre Dame, scoring the first goal in the 5th minute, but were quickly outshot by the Fighting Irish. Notre Dame outshot the Black and Gold 32-4. The Hawks conclude their season 15-7-1. And now I'll toss it over to Taylor Axelson with more about the women's volleyball team. Taylor?
Thanks, Jalen. The volleyball team has continued their losing streak with a loss to Michigan and Michigan State this past week, which leaves their Big Ten record 1-15. There was a silver lining for 4-year starter Bethany Yeager. During the loss to Michigan, she broke the 23-year-old University of Iowa record for career digs. The previous record was 1,931 that was set in 1990. So there are 4 regular season games left for the ladies, and up next is Indiana and Purdue. That's it for your Monday evening whip around. Back to you guys in the studio.
The January 6th BCS national title game looms closer, so let's take a look at the latest standings. Alabama and Florida State have their spots locked in Pasadena until further notice after staying perfect this past weekend. Ohio State remains at number 3, but will need some help if they want to play for the Coach's Trophy. Michigan State jumped to number 13 after beating the Huskers in Lincoln, Nebraska. Wisconsin moves up to number 19 after dominating Indiana, and Minnesota enters the BCS rankings for the first time since 2008, cracking the rankings at 25. That's all for today, but tune in tomorrow where, as always, we'll be there for Kirk Ferentz's weekly press conference and have a reaction from players ahead of their matchup against the Michigan Wolverines on Saturday. Brad, Christina, back to you to the desk.
Daily Iowan TV is the only place to see what's going to be in Tuesday morning's Daily Iowan. Find out why the Dairy Queen in the north side of Iowa City is closing down.
And read about the new additions to the online class registration. That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.